Oh, Red Table Talk. So Jada Pinkett Smith, it's her show. I think it's supposed, well, not I think, it's supposed to mimic a daytime talk show, which I'm generally not a fan of. But this to me is so much, it's different than a daytime talk show, and it's better than a daytime talk show. They really talk about issues or concerns or topics from a lot of different angles, which I think is what's missing from a lot of daytime talk shows. That there's not a lot of different angles. There might be one, two. This one, they usually purposely try to bring in different viewpoints. So I appreciate that. But they're also very vulnerable in those. And I don't mean vulnerable in the way that like the host breaks down crying. I mean, they're sharing parts of their lives or experiences that have been difficult for the different people that are on the show at the time. So I just really enjoyed it. And aside from it being different, which I like, I also find it really interesting that it's only on Facebook. So I'm surprised no one has picked that show up because it's in its I think it's in its fifth season.
Well, does Facebook have a contract with them? Because I think if you're going to do a show on Facebook, that sounds almost like that's kind of a contract.
And it very well may be. That's not my wheelhouse. I don't know that stuff, but I've never seen another show on Facebook, at least not one this popular that I'm aware of.
Right.
But and what I like is they cover such a range of topics, like. Of course, I think the one most people probably watched was the one where Will and Jada actually talked about their new contract relationship, right?
This the entanglement?
No, this is, well, that's another one too.
Entanglement?
So they talked about things like that, but they also talk about like, what does polyamory look like? There was another one where it was actually Will and Kevin Hart, where they talked about a lot of things, but what is it to be a dad? So, like I said, it's a range of topics. I actually really enjoyed.
The polyamory one was good. That I remember. I wasn't watching it, but I was.
Watched it.
No, I was listening to it because I was doing probably dishes or something.
Or just.
But I remember I wasn't ignoring it because I was listening. Because the things I remembered was I didn't know that Willow, was in that lifestyle and that. And then listening to Willow and Jada's mom talk about it. And then like Jada's mom basically saying like, I don't believe in that, but just her listening to it and just accepting that was her granddaughter's choice. And
that's a good point. That's the other thing that I appreciate about the show is there's not this like bickering drama. It's I may disagree with you or I may not understand it, but I'm willing to hear what you have to say, which is a great example for what we should all be doing, right?
I do like that it's also multi-generational. I mean, you have like 3 generations all addressing one topic, so you get that different perspective.
Yeah.
No. And I have a viewing list. Downton Abbey is obviously on it. I also want to catch up on my Star Treks. And Red Table is on the list. It's just a little lower than if there's another entanglement issue episode, maybe I'll watch that. Where there's just
is it still? Yeah, I saw a couple from the first season. And I think one of the things I liked about the first season too, and I don't know if the rest of them are still there, it may be, was that it was actually done at their house.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that if it still is, then I think that also adds a whole different aspect in that you're not going to a sound stage or a set and you don't have a green room and all these, other staff and stuff. There's a personal aspect to it that certainly would make, I would imagine, the Smiths more comfortable, but even the guests in that, you can, there are lights and cameras and microphones and everything, I'm sure, but you're still at the Smith's house. Like there's a layer there where you're just like, I can probably convince myself that I'm just here talking with friends, and I think that gets a different kind of interaction between the guests and the hosts, and that was very interesting to see for the ones from the first season that I caught.
You're right.
Oh yeah,
it is a little more. It is a little more disarming.
I never would have thought about that.
Yeah. And what I mean, and I hate to say it, but I saw like just the highlights of the entanglement video, but I did see the beginning of Kevin Hart's episode.
Yeah.
Where he was really late, and they were literally just busting his chops for being so late.
Yep.
But yeah, it is a positive show in the aspect of showing people communicate and share their feelings in a constructive way, as opposed to that meme where the woman's yelling at the cat. That's I guess the converse of that. Good stuff. So, Red Table Talk. Send all your payments to Logan at bingetheory.logan.com.
Yeah.